Hi, I'm Life Coach David. I'm a certified and very experienced Law of Attraction life coach, and I wanted to share with you today one of my personal manifestation stories. I have so many, but this one's really interesting. Many years ago, I lived in California, and I moved back to the East Coast, and I always wanted to live in New York. And my dream was to live on Central Park West in New York City right across from the park. And I was rollerblading at the time, and I thought, wow, that would be amazing if I could be rollerblading from my building across the street into Central Park. It would be so much fun. So I started looking for apartments, and at the time in New York, anytime a new apartment became available, it was like a cattle call. Like there were 20 to 40 people lined up to see a studio apartment or even a small apartment. And I was going to these cattle calls and it just didn't feel right. And then I remembered, wait a minute, I want Central Park West so I can do my rollerblading thing and enjoy that. So I called a realtor I was kind of working with and I told him, I said, don't tell me about any apartments unless they're on Central Park West. And of course, there was a pause on the other end of the phone because he was probably thinking, with your budget, you're going to find a place on Central Park West. But eventually he said, well, I'll keep my ears open, and if I hear of anything, I'll let you know. And I said, great. So I hung up the phone with him, and I did not look at any other apartments. I didn't look at the paper. I didn't go to any more cattle calls because I was focused on what I wanted. I knew how law of attraction works, and anything's possible. So it wasn't only about maybe 2 weeks. And this realtor called me back and he said, David, there's a studio apartment on Central Park West, right across from the park. I haven't seen it. I've never been to the building. Nobody has seen it yet, but it's about $500 more than you can afford. And of course, I immediately said, yes, let's go see it. Because, like I said, I know anything is possible. So we went to the building, and the building, as soon as I walked in, it was this beautiful lobby, like right out of a movie. And we went to see the apartment, and I was told that the tenant would not be home, and we can just go in, check it out, and then take it from there. So we went into the apartment, and it was a really nice, really cute studio on the 14th floor. And little did we know, the tenant was still home. She was going to the gym and she was just finishing getting ready. And I was talking to her and I said, how could you move out of this place? And she said that her mom was sick and she had to get back home. I think she lived in Ohio. And she said she was breaking her lease. And the owner did not want the apartment to sit empty. Meanwhile, the owner was not that familiar with New York because a really nice apartment on Central Park West goes like that. So anyway, so I got up the nerve and I asked her what she was paying per month. And when she told me, I was thinking to myself, wow, because what she told me was right what I could afford. So I thought, that's interesting. So she said goodbye. And when everybody left, the realtor asked me, and I said, look, I really like the apartment. Just offer the landlord, the owner, $25 more than what the current tenant is paying. And he was like, but she wants 500 more. I said, I know, but that's what I could do. Tell her I'll be a good tenant and it won't sit empty, whatever. So he said, okay. So about 2 days later, I got a call that my offer was accepted. Yay. So it's just a great story. And I lived there for many years, really happy. And I always remember the first time I rollerbladed from that building into the park. I was like, wow, I really am getting to do this. This really happened. Now, I have to tell you, it's a very law of attraction type story because most people with my budget at the time wouldn't have even considered to look on that street. They wouldn't have even thought it was possible. And they wouldn't have even looked at that apartment because it was $500 or $600 more than they could afford. But I know different. So anyway, that's one of my wonderful stories. And if you want coaching on how you can attract what you want, on how you can be really happy, if you're going through a difficult time and you want to get through it in the best way possible, consider contacting me for some wonderful law of attraction coaching. It's beyond helpful in so many ways. And thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.